But I think the main things is at the end of the day, volleyball is volleyball. It's in the same 9x9 court, and the rules are the same. So we. Is that on the back of your shirt?
Yeah, it's on the back of the shirt.
You did. A little free shout out for you. And it doesn't matter who's on the other side of the net. You need to still execute to the best of your ability if you want a chance to win.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. We are done with pool play. We are done with pool play at the 2024 Paris Olympics in indoor volleyball. This is the home of indoor volleyball on the internet. This is the 9x9, the 81 square meters of the best volleyball content on the internet. This is day number 9. That is Rob St. Clair back home in his house at Chicago. And my name is Everett Delorme, live from Toronto. But like I said, Rob, we are done pool play. And now things get serious. Now we get down to the go time as the 8 teams on the women's side have not only been decided, but the draw is up and the bracket is up. And oh my goodness, this is a doozy. This is an absolutely doozy of a bracket. I don't no crumbs were missed when making this bracket. Not a crumb was missed here. It was I think this is just as good, maybe better than the men's bracket. We are going to have some banger on the first round on the banger matches in the first round. And Aussie Tragic, no, I said I might go to the beach tomorrow for the quarterfinal matches, not today, tomorrow.
Don't you worry.
But appreciate you, Rob. First and foremost, how's the hangover?
Oh, it's still around. It's on its way out. Hopefully, a little more volley energy will help me take care of it. Yeah, very fun night for me last night at a wedding on Mackinac Island. I drove like 7.5-ish hours today to get back here. So thank you all for.
Caitlin drove.
We split it. But I was watching volley in the car.
Yeah, he just managed to watch 2 games while driving. Okay.
No, certainly not. While We're safe over here. We do everything safely. This bracket is sick. It is it's so amazing that this week of Olympic elimination games is finally here. 3 straight years of volleyball, and all of it leads up to these games, and it is do or die from here on out. It's also just incredible that neither the men's or the women's brackets have any pool play rematches in the first round. That is incredible.
Thank
that happened.
Goodness. It would have just been terrible. If we had that. Maybe next time around, we can switch it up. Hey, we're going to do this, but we're going to try to avoid first round matchups. But now, Rob, you guys have seen the bracket, or let's just go over it real quick for the audio listeners, and then we'll break down what was a massive matches of games. At the top of the bracket, you have Brazil against the Dominican Republic, a nice little South versus South America against the Caribbean. You love that spiciness. Poland takes on the USA. They will play the winner of Brazil, Dominican Republic in the other quarterfinal. That is going to be another absolute banger. China will take on Türkiye on the other side of the bracket, which is
crazy.
Wow.
Awesome.
Mind-blowing. The Chinese have been playing so good. And then to finish it off, there's only 2 teams left. And the winner of China-Türkiye will be taking on Serbia or Italy.
Woo!
Hoo-wee, damn. But before we get into this, Rob, let's go over how we got here a little bit, starting off with what was slated to be an absolute banger. And it was a quick one, Rob. We almost had Italy take down Türkiye in an hour and shower. 3-0. They dominated. 14-16 were the first 2 sets here. What was, and of course, it has to be said, led by none other than Paolo Gonu with 20 points. A masterclass performance by the Italians.
Domination.
It
reminds me very, very much of the Italian men versus Poland yesterday.
Absolutely.
And the comparisons between the Turkish women and the Polish men go so far and so deep. But we got to start with the team that won and the team that goes in. I mean, what did Italy drop? One set? Maybe the entire? Did they drop a set? Did they drop a set to anyone?
I don't
maybe Dominican. I don't
know.
remember, but
No, they did drop one set, and that's the difference between them and Brazil in moving forward. Yeah, they
yeah,
lost the one set to Dominican.
that's
In
right.
the
So
draft.
9-1 in sets, and Italy looks unbelievable, and they've done it in pool play with both of their opposites. Of course, we talked about Antropova being amazing against the Netherlands, and Paula Egon, who dominated today. I was excited to see her against Melissa Vargas, and there was a very clear winner. Paula Egon, there you can see her like holding Monica De Gennaro at the bottom of that photo, which is awesome. Yeah, this is just a beatdown, and I would be curious to see if we might get this matchup again, and it's possible in the semifinals given the way the bracket is, and if Türkiye wakes up, because
Yes.
there is a serious awakening that needs to happen with that team. However, even though Italy is the 2 seed, in my opinion, they're playing the best volleyball on planet Earth right now. They are so strong in every area. They have really basically no weaknesses. Even their outside hitter position has been producing decently well. Miriam Silla was pretty good today.
No, I thought Miriam Silla was the key to it all.
Yeah.
Right. After 2 sets, she was 8 for 16 with no errors. And it wasn't really until set number 3 that Agonu really pulled away. Like she had 7 of her 20 in the actually, I guess she had 7 literally every set. Yeah. Oh no, five, and she had 8 as well too. Egon was just unreal, but
Yeah.
I thought Silla was so solid. I thought De Gennaro in the libero position was solid. I thought Oro set a fantastic match. This was Italy showing their strength as a team.
Right.
This was Italy showing that, hey, we work way better together than you guys. Right. I think in Italy's head right now is like, not only are we better volleyball players, not only are we more physical, like not only do we have a better setter, not only do we have a better opposite, libero, all this stuff, but we work together better than you guys. And that was exactly what we saw in this one. 9 blocks for Italy, only 2 for Türkiye. It was a complete domination in the middle of the court by the Italians, right? Even like Danesi, 8 points, 4 kills, 4 blocks. Far had 4 points with 2 kills and 2 aces. But
Turkish middle 7 points combined.
7 points combined, and that's led by a still coming back from injury and definitely not 100% Zara Gunesh. So bit of a rough one by Erdem today, but the Italian women are looking crisp. They are looking focused. You're even seeing Antropova come in and make contributions off the bench.
Love that.
Velasco has this team dialed in. Velasco has this team ready to go, and I think they feel confident against any team in the world right now.
As they should. As they absolutely should. Italy looks tremendous. Again, the job that Julio Velasco has done this summer in a relatively short amount of time, getting the most out of tremendous pieces. Obviously, Italy has world-class talent, but I completely agree with you. This is a better team than Türkiye, and it's a better team than just about everyone else, if not everybody else in women's volleyball right now. This team is playing locked in together. Their systems are really impressive. They're playing at a very high level. And on the other side, Türkiye is not. There is some floundering going on. There is some soul searching going on. There is some identity crises, both individually and as a team, happening all across the board. Türkiye on talent obviously belongs in the quarterfinals, but this is not the team that was brought together and had such a great identity and apparent team chemistry that we saw last summer. And very, very similarly to the Polish men, do or die now. Do or die now. They are the 6th seed in the bracket. They have a very difficult first round matchup, and it's do or die. This is it.
And luckily about the Olympic Games, and I mean any tournament like this, really, is that if you get past the pool play, if you get past the group stage, everything is just in front of everything. Yep. Everything is possible. Anything is in front of you, and like that's why we've mentioned. France was abysmal in the group stage last Olympics. They were just better than the United States and ended up getting knocked out. Made a run and won the finals. The same thing with China on the women's side back in 2016. So you do have the ability to see that. And like when you have a team like Türkiye, there's always going to be that possibility. But for me, Rob, this team is a massive step back from what they were last year.
Huge.
And for me, it's because you don't have Ebra Kerkut on the left side. You're not using her in the outside hitter position. So you're not having what was the number one reason for your success last year at the VNL, at the European Championships. That was the two-headed monster that was Türkiye. The two-headed offensive monster with the passion of Ebra Karakut and the precise domination of Vargas. You're not seeing that. And
Not at all.
we've barely seen it. I don't understand why. It's like all of a sudden something that was so successful for them last year, and we all left last season being like, Karakurt isn't the liability in serve receive that we expected her to be. Right? She was actually pretty solid. It seemed like every team throughout both of those tournaments last year wanted to test her, and she was up to the task regularly. But we've barely seen her on the left side this year. Why are you going away from what's working with you for you? Is it something on her end that she's going to say that she doesn't want to play less? What is going on there?
Something's going on. So I saw it was in Turkish, and I didn't get a great translation of it. But Daniele Santarelli said something about as far as I could get, and Turkish people in the chat, please correct me or give us more context. But as far as I could get, Santarelli was basically saying that Ebrar Karakurt isn't playing good enough right now, and she has not earned very much court time. And that she knows this and he knows this, and they're on the same page that she needs to play better. Maybe that's the case, and maybe I'm mistranslating it or whatever. But my thing is kind of similar to the United States' outside hitter situation. And if you're going to start an outside hitter duo, like I believe it was Baladin and Aydin, I think, and then they brought in Jebegiolu a little bit later. If you're going to start a groups like that, players like that, and they're still not going to pass the ball well, then you might as well put on the player that won't pass any better or worse, but can actually score you points. And that part I really don't get.
To me, it's if you're in a VNL type situation, especially with a longer season and all of that stuff, and you want to send kind of a message to one of your players, that's the way to do it. But I don't see Türkiye beating who do they have in the first round again? If they play the way that they did in pool play, I don't see it at all.
Definitely not. But that's the one thing that they have going for them. It's one thing the Polish men have going for them. It's going to be the Olympic quarterfinals, and everything is a little bit different when the stakes are that high, and the tournament is in front of them at this point, and they now are at a point where they have nothing to lose. But I agree with you. If Türkiye plays like this, there's no chance they beat China the way that they're playing. They're just going to have to figure it out in the next 48 hours and come together with some kind of identity. And Daniele Santarelli in his first Olympics as a head coach has not had his team ready to go the way that we would have expected. And he has to, in the next 48 hours before that quarterfinal match, he needs to do less than 48. He needs to do the coaching job that we expect from him as one of, if not the best coaches on the planet.
Now it's going to one of, hey, we're reeling back on that rod real quick now. Whereas all year long, and basically for a year now, it's been Santarelli is the number one coach on the planet. And for me, I was willing to give him the benefit of the doubt through the VNL, and I was like, it's Santarelli.
Same.
It's the same thing with Karch, and it's VNL, right? It's Santarelli. We trust him. We know what he's capable of, right? They are he was who we thought he was. But then now you're coming up through this period, and it just looks like utter mismanagement across the board. And to me, it's just really being not in tune with where your team is at and what it's needing. And I've seen this so often from coaches, more so in the club, college game, where they get so much in their own head about what they need to do that they're so unaware at the base level of what's happening with their team. And I think you see that with some of the great minds sometimes, where they forget to kind of solidify themselves within their team.
Yeah, they think a little too hard.
Yeah, and we know that there was a lot of pushback from the Turkish fans about who Santarelli picked, right? That it was clear that he wasn't maybe as aware of the Süttenlar Ligi as he should have been, and maybe didn't possibly pick some of the best options, especially on the left side. And that's mostly where some of those accusations are coming from the public. So it just seems to me, Rob, that Santarelli is out of touch with what this Turkish team needs right now.
Maybe. And they, again, I was with you. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt for VNL. Plus, Türkiye was so banged up. They had so many injury concerns, but some of that also came from a little bit of mismanagement with the roster, in Ilkin Aydın's case in particular. But a couple of the most important jobs of head coaches in any sport, but especially volleyball, it's establishing structure and defining roles. And I talk about role clarity a lot. I sound like a broken record, for God's sake, but do you think this team has any role clarity right now? Their setter position is a revolving door. That's not good at all. If you don't know who your setter is, their outside hitter position is an even worse and even faster moving revolving door. They are now out of time to find their identity. They need to have it, and they need to have it ready to go against a damn good Chinese team in less than 2 days.
Yeah. They are way out of position on defense, and the ball's about to be hit, and they need to stop their feet and pray to God it hits them.
Seriously.
That's essentially what's happening with this Turkish team right now, and it's tough to see. People in the chat being like, Tugba is at home laughing her ass off, and
we actually, on that subject, we have actually seen a lot of roster movement within the Olympics. I mean, Italy activated Ilaria Spirito today. I think Serbia activated Mina Popovic. We already had Türkiye with one swapping in the backup middle when Zara Güneş wasn't ready to go. Like, there's been a lot of utilization of that 13th alternate player, that's for sure, especially on the women's side. I think Brazil did it today too. They activated Natinha, the backup libero. So a lot of that going around, but you make all those changes, it turns into the revolving door situation that Türkiye has, and they do not look convincing. Fortunately for them, anything is possible in the Olympic quarterfinals. So, definitely not a good showing, and I'm sure their fan base is anxious, to say the least.
Oh, I mean, it was very interesting to see how few Turks were in the chat recently, and like some of our few most notable Turkish members of the Discord have been a little quiet
perhaps
recently.
I will give credit to one of those Turkish Discord Hall of Famers. Our guy Rodman's hair is actually in Paris. He went to this game, and he said that even though it was an all-time great experience, just like having the pageantry and the energy and the atmosphere and the crowd, which has been incredible all tournament. He said that his team looked like absolute trash, and he is not happy about it. And I wouldn't be either if I were a Turkish fan.
Okay, well, we will give Rodman's hair a pass for not being in the chat today.
Because he was at the game. Yeah,
that's where you been, bro? Where you been, Berkay? It was Remue was the only one holding it down for the Turks this morning, and I actually stayed up and watched this one live.
Did you? Wow.
Yeah,
man, credit to you, man. You've been so much better about the 3 a.m. Eastern games than I have. But
it was just one of those things where I was just like up at like 2:30, and I was just like,
well, might as well.
Let's just crack another beer and keep this going.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of teams that are not playing entirely convincingly, let's talk about my United States really quickly. It was a foregone conclusion that we were going to beat France, at least so everybody thought. And when I woke up this morning, Everett, quite hungover, and the first thing I did was like, all right, I need to look at the scores. I saw Italy 3-0 Türkiye. I was like, wow, Italy must have played great, or Türkiye was terrible, whatever. And then I saw USA 3-0 France. I'm like, okay, great, we took care of business. But then I looked into it a little bit more.
Did you look at the scores right away, or did you just like keep going and then?
I was scrolling on Flash Score on my phone, and all it tells you is 3-0. It did what it did not say was 29-27, 29-27, 25-20, and that is when I discovered that information. I almost fell out of my bed. Like, what the hell are we doing here?
I will remind you that you ended yesterday's show by getting mad at me, being like, "Don't you dare say that the U.S. is going to lose to France!" And I didn't. But you guys almost did exactly that. I mean, obviously not. It's not like you lost a set, but still. Rob, there is no reason for the United States of America, the defending Olympic champs, to be going 29-27. I actually think the second set was 25-23. But, oh, no, it's actually 29-27 on both of them. You're right. There's no reason, no reason whatsoever for this. This French team is pretty good. I really like Jiquel. She's talented and talented, and you've got a really great roster around them. But this should be a three dong
Absolutely.
of three dong proportions. And once again, why can't we see Kelsey Robinson Cook and Catherine Plummer? And instead, we get Plummer and Skinner, which has kind of worked maybe a little bit. I wouldn't say fully. And then when that doesn't ultimately work, you go back to the pairing of Robinson Cook and Larson on the left side.
It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense to do that. Ooh, I barely even have words for how annoying this is. Why? Avery Skinner was terrible today. She had negative efficiency against an inferior team. And so when you take her off, you don't replace. Plummer was okay. We're going to go the entire Olympic Games and not see the one outside hitter pairing that it should have been from the beginning. It is crazy that France was even close to being in this game. It is not acceptable because we still had a lot on the line.
A lot.
We needed to win this match, and we needed to win it in straight sets. It ended up being really important for the seeding. And although we did do that, there is no excuse for letting that French team into 2 overtimes in 3 sets. Absolutely none.
None whatsoever. It really makes me question. And especially now, this is kind of like a meme going on a little bit on the Discord right now. But when you look at this team flexing, like they've just won a big match, not this is to me like, hey, we're flexing, we almost hour and showered them, or like we're flexing because we just beat a good team in a big match. Not, hey, we're flexing because France, who's shouldn't be here really. They shouldn't be at this tournament. If you're just going for the best teams in the world, France would not be here. Made us shit our pants. France made us change our starting roster, right? There's no reason for them to be flexing and acting like they're on top of the world right now.
It's so frustrating too, because the answer I really think is right there, right in front of us. It's right there, right in front of us. Put Catherine Plummer and Kelsey Robinson Cook on the court together. Just do it. It's crazy that there is no reason ever in any way for any reason that we haven't seen it yet. It just does not make sense. And we're going to go against a Polish team in the quarterfinal that is really good and that
really good.
Has probably better players at almost every position than we do.
Yeah,
I'd say pretty much every position Poland has better players. And I think that they're playing better than we are right now. We'll talk about them against Brazil in a little bit, but I feel similarly about the American women's team, probably to how the Turkish fans do about their team. And because we played not good enough in pool play, we get a very good team in the first round. And if we beat Poland, man, I will be very happily surprised. I do not see this team beating Poland right now the way we're playing. And with the decisions that we're making, for some reason, I don't see it.
Rob, the only thing that might save you right now is the way that Poland played today. That might, and we can get to it when we do the breakdown on this one. But yeah, that is going to be a little bit interesting. One thing on the French side of things, do want to give a shout out to Halimatou Ba, who led them in scoring today. Just 20 years old is Ba, who will be heading to play for the Neptunes de Nantes next year. She was pretty good. She was 12 for 32 with 5 errors, but a 20-year-old leading France in scoring in their last match and helping them push the US.
Yeah, good. I mean, France didn't take a set in this tournament, which is a bummer, but they had a practically impossible pool, and I thought they showed up pretty well for who they are as a team right now and what the expectations were. And I think there's a lot of reasons to be optimistic about French women's volleyball in the future, but they were just like clearly outmatched in this tournament, and especially in that pool. So
Yeah, I think when you look at this French team, because the other one that did really well for them today is Amanda Silves, who was
in the middle, right?
23 once again, and she went 11 for 18 for in the middle.
Good for her, but my goodness, USA, that should never happen.
No, it should
never.
Yeah. Silves heading to Pinerolo next year, and Giquel will be heading to Chieri.
Nice. Good. Get more French players in the Italian league. Love to see it.
Yeah.
All right, enough about that. I'll get more annoyed about the U.S. women when we break down the bracket later. Before we move on to the other two games, two important things to remind you all. The first is that when, not if, but when you all pick up subscriptions or renew subscriptions to VBTV to watch Superliga, Brazilian League, VNL, beach volleyball, whatever, when you do that, you should use the link in our description to do so because that will take you directly there. It will kick back to us. And that is how you will need to watch a lot of volleyball after the Olympic Games. So whenever it is you go to do that, make sure you use the link in our description.
Also, Rob, I just got sent to this. Sorry, I forgot to message you about this. When you use the code VS10, you're going to get 10% off.
Hey, there we go. We finally got a promo code. Love it. VS10, eh?
VS10, baby.
Great news. So now we can officially offer you a discount as well. VS10. Great.
Let's go. And while you're at it, you can head over to shop.volleyballworld.com to pick up your official Paris 2024 game balls. And you can pick up the official ones from Mikasa. You can pick up the replicas, and you can even pick up the mini game balls alongside plenty of other things like some VNL merch, Volleyball World merch. I saw there's some old beach jerseys on there from past Grand Slams, with branded and everything. I saw the Montreal ones out there. So yeah, head over to shop.volleyballworld.com and check it all out.
Link in our description for that as well. Okay. Maybe the best match of the day.
Definitely the best match of the day. Hands down the best match of the day.
In a day of great matches. China 3-1 over Serbia. China wins Pool A. They dropped the first set and then they stormed back. They won the fourth in a pretty deep overtime, 29-27. And despite the second highest scoring performance in women's volleyball Olympic history by Tijana Boskovic with 39.
Wow.
It was not enough. And China, featuring Li Yingying's 28, looks so good.
Dude, China looks deadly.
They look so good.
I have climbed the rung of China's hype ladder with every match that they've played. And this one to me is, bro, this is a really, really, really good team top to bottom. Not only is Li Yingying an outstanding player. She was 25 for 47 today with 5 errors. Not really sure how
that's above 400 efficiency. Yeah. That's terrific.
2 blocks and an ace. But then when you look at, I love Gong. On the right side, she's so controlled. She hits such nice shots. She's just such a nice addition to that team. And Zhu Ting stepped out of this one, Rob, after the second set with a wrist injury.
Yeah, she went crashing into the boards, and probably the wrist that she was already kind of struggling with.
And still, China dominated. And you know what, Rob? They dominated down the middle. Wang and Yuan made Serbia look silly.
Maybe the best middle duo in the tournament.
The way they're playing right now, I think so. I definitely think so. As good as Denesi and Farr have been, that's a real toss up between Denesi and Farr and Wang and Yuan. Dude, they
really good, man.
They are really, really good. They play so steady. They're so relentless. They have so many different offensive options. And they play a fun style of volleyball. I honestly would not be surprised, Rob, if they end up winning a gold medal. I really would not be surprised if they end up winning a gold medal here. I think that's to me, they're in a toss-up between them and Italy in terms of who the best team has been so far this tournament for me. It's because they have played better competition. They came out undefeated in a match in a pool with the USA and Serbia. right? Two teams who we've considered to be Olympic like gold medal hopefuls before that. And they looked the best of that pool, hands down,
Yes,
no
they do.
doubt about it. They looked better through injuries too. They looked better top to bottom. This is a team that I think is set up to win Olympic gold potentially. And I would almost go as far to say it's almost guaranteed that they're going to win an Olympic medal.
Nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah,
and they're on in a portion of the bracket that is absolutely stacked, and we'll talk about that later. The thing that I like most about China is the fact that they truly are playing as a team right now. They are so balanced and well-rounded and together, and they execute everyone's individual roles at a super high level right now. I mean, clearly Li Yingying is the scorer. That's her job. That's her role. That's what she's damn good at. 28 points on sky-high efficiency against a big opponent. Like, Serbia is a big and typically very good blocking team. And Lee was awesome, and they were chucking her balls like randomly, like high balls out of middle back for her to score on out of system, and she was still taking rips. Like, so she's doing her job. The middles are playing outstanding, like you said. They're doing their jobs. Gong is doing a great job on the right side. I really like the way Wu Mengji is playing at libero. Wang, excuse me. Yeah, Wang at 18. The one thing that I don't know of yet, and I've already said this, is Diao Linyu at the center position. I still don't know about her out-of-system game. If China gets up against a team who can put a huge amount of pressure on them from the baseline, I think that would be the way to beat them the way that they're playing right now. But, oh, man, they played good competition in this pool, and they came out 3-0, and I'd say it's China, Italy, and Brazil who have looked the best so far this tournament.
100%. I think when you look at the three pool winners, they have truly looked awesome, without a doubt. Like, to me, there's no questions about those teams, where there's a ton of questions about the other contenders who have fallen in below them. For what it's worth, Rob, not that we really know anything about this, but Diao Linyu has been rated the highest setter so far on the Volleyball World Stats. Still don't know what 108 successful sets means. But yeah, it just kind of is what it is. But yeah, I think this Chinese team is legit. I think they are ready to go. I think this is a team that could go all the way. The team on the other side of the net, however, the team that they beat today, a team that is the two-time defending world champions, a team that basically rested all of their starters all year long.
The entirety of Nations League, yep.
Looks a step behind.
Serbia looks completely one-dimensional. One-dimensional. They wasted the second greatest scoring performance in Olympic women's volleyball history today by failing to have any other players in double digits. 39 for Boskovic, and nobody else can put up double digits? Alexic in the middle had 9 points as their second leading scorer. And Mina Popovic, who was like the last second alternate named like last week, was the third leading scorer on the team. This was my one concern about Serbia coming into the tournament. And it's exactly the same thing that stopped them from winning Olympic gold 3 years ago, that they were one-dimensional. They had no production at all from the outside hitter position. And their outside hitter position was invisible today. Completely unreliable. And even as good as Tijana Boskovic is, when you are that one-dimensional against a good team, it is very difficult to win volleyball matches.
Yeah. Alexandra Uzelac, 4 for 17.
Brutal.
In attack. Maya Alexic was 4 for 10. Not great either.
That's the middle, and that's not good. Like, you got to be better out of the middle. Bianca Busha, 1 for 11, negative efficiency.
1 for 11, yeah.
Sarah Lozo, 5 for 20, 2 errors. Like, what are we doing at the outside hitter position? It's brutal.
Yeah,
and it's bad, and it's a revolving door. Like, that revolving door, I understand, because just everybody is like pretty bad equally, so there's not really a right answer. It's just like you kind of have to keep the door revolving until you find who happens to be good on that day. Today, the answer was nobody. So I don't know what Guidetti's going to do, but I don't fault him for any poor coaching decisions or anything, because he just has nobody at that position who can play right now.
Yeah, no, not at all. It's really been a struggle for this Serbian team to get going. And I mean, in the first set, like, Serbia is the one who won the first set. It was really just all Boskovic. Boskovic, 12 points on her own in the first set. 12
Absurd.
points in the first set. Like, if you're talking about put a team on your back performance, damn, she was 10 for 17 with
in one set.
10 for 17 with 2 aces in the first set. That is absolutely ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
But to me, Rob, and what is like the reason why we thought this is the reason why we called Santorelli the best coach in the world, was how he got the rest of the team working around Boskovic, especially if you're looking back at that World Championship run that they did back in 2022. This team, it doesn't like it's the complete antithesis to what we see with Germany on the men's side, where everyone else is doing their job and everyone else is filling the gaps. It is truly like they've put Boskovic on a pedestal, and they're not trying to raise that pedestal. They're just chucking stuff up there to help make her build it on her own, right? They just seem to just leave her hanging out to dry. And to me, that has to come down to Guidetti, right? Guidetti doesn't need to coach Boskovic. He needs to coach the other 5 or 6, like other 5 and 6 players on the court. And like right now, that's not happening for this team.
No, it's
not. So like you continue to go back to Odjanovic when arguably Durcha is the better setter. And
Durcha played down the stretch today, which was good to see.
They brought her in the fourth, and that's when they were the most competitive, right? That's like in the fourth is when they played. I mean, I think Serbia led. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but
Serbia had, let's see, did they have any set points there?
No,
they didn't, but they were down 23-21, made a nice little comeback, and then there was some drama in the overtime, because I thought the match was over at 25-23, and then there was a block touch challenge that they didn't even show the replay of on the broadcast. They just gave the point to Serbia.
It was also 20-15 at one point for China.
Okay, so yeah, that's a nice little push. I don't know why we're not showing replays of absolutely crucial challenge reviews that literally change outcomes of matches. Tijana Boskovic needs help. It's really that simple. She needs help, and somebody at the outside hitter position specifically, somebody needs to give it to her.
I don't know if it's like a specific person who needs to step up. To me, it's everyone.
Everyone.
They all need to step up.
Yeah.
Especially like, dude, their middles got beat up in the middle today. Like their middles were non-existent.
Yeah, Wang had 11, Yuan had 9 for China, Alexic 9. Yeah, on bad efficiency.
We've gone back to this. I don't know how Jonas Stevanovic keeps on being benched and keeps on being left on the court. She is a difference maker, and especially in big time games like this, she brings energy. She's a very, very good blocker, right? She's a very, very good blocker. And instead, Serbia is just getting beat up in the middle. Just getting beat up in the middle, and they have no support whatsoever. You're not scoring on the outside, as we said. That's only the first set. Never mind. But still, like Busha 3 points, Uzelac 4, Lozo 5. Like, goodness,
it's bad.
Gracious, it's just bad everywhere. Everyone needs to be better, including Guidetti. Most importantly, Guidetti.
Yeah, that's the assessment for Serbia. Volleyball is the greatest team sport in the world, and even a tremendous individual performance like Boskovic had today is not going to win you a match at the Olympic Games against a damn good opponent in China. And China is a very legit contender, and we'll talk about their bracket matchup in a little bit. Last but not least today, Everett, we had what may have been. I don't know if we know this yet.
No, I don't.
It might have been an Olympic record for longest set in Olympic volleyball history, a 38-36 marathon in the second set. Brazil took it over Poland, and then in probably the most predictable fashion of all time, Brazil dominated set number 3 and walked away with a 3-dong to finish preliminary round play 9-0 in sets.
Italy and Argentina went 40-38. In the 2000 games.
Okay.
And so this one has to be the second highest.
Not a record, but damn close. And that second set was definitely the set of the tournament so far. And the crazy part about it was that Brazil led 24-19. Poland went on a 5-0 run to even get to overtime.
The Polish, like this Polish performance is interesting. First and foremost, Stysiak was brutal.
Yeah,
she was really, really bad. She was like 1 for 10 with like 4 errors in the first set, something like that.
I think that's exactly what it was.
Really, really bad.
Really bad.
She ended up being figuring it out a little bit and pulling herself out of the hole, 10 for 33 with 5 errors. But she wasn't the methodical and illuminated Stysiak that we've seen before. And to me, it was all about Brazil's blocking. And now Poland did outblock Brazil in this one, and that's mainly because of Lethal Barbie. She had 5 of them. However, Brazil's block was so dominant that it was forcing Poland just to go anywhere. And I mean, we've talked about some of the other performances in terms of like some of the best teams in this tournament, namely Italy and China. Brazil, to me, is the scariest because it's the most complete.
Yep.
It's the most complete package that we've seen so far at this tournament, where you're getting contributions from everyone up and down the lineup. And right now, there's no player like Gabi for me in this tournament.
She is so good. She's so good, and she's so perfect for Brazil. And she is exactly what they need, where they need her, and when they need her. And today she dropped 21 points on 21 for 37 attacking, only 3 errors, and that's like just shy of 50% efficiency. Like absolute masterclass against a good team. And the completeness of Brazil also extends to Zé Roberto and the coaching job that he's done, because their system is locked in right now. You mentioned the way that their block was just funneling Poland right into their defenders' laps. Their block defense system was tremendous. They were making really good decisions across the board. I thought Rosa Maria was good today. She's not going to like scare anybody with her physicality, but a lot of good decisions and a lot of smart high shots and identifying seams and all that. And I wouldn't even say that Ana Cristina was super good. She was 8 for 28 with 5 errors. Like she can and likely will be better when they get to the bracket.
And I mean, she ended up. Ana Cristina ended up getting subbed out for Julia Bergman,
right?
At a point,
Right.
Ana Cristina did not have a great game, and I mean, at one point, in like the reason that Poland was able to come back is because Korneluk was acing Ana Cristina with a standing float serve.
Yeah, that's bad.
I mean, those Lethal Barbie standing float serves are lethal because she's hitting it like, and when you're as tall as she is, and when the net's so low compared to her, like you can get that downward trajectory from the standing, so why not? But ultimately, to me, Rob, when you look at like in every other than blocking, Brazil dominated in every category, specifically digs.
Oh yeah,
59 digs for Brazil, 42 for Poland. And when you look at the dig numbers, Nieme on her own had more digs than Stysiak and Sigloszka, who are the 2 highest, like best diggers for Poland. Like those 2 combined didn't get as many as Nieme. Nieme had 19, Gabi had 9, Ana Cristina had 8, Rosa Maria had 8, and Stysiak and Sigloszka both had 8 as well.
Wow.
So there was 4 Brazilians who were getting more digs than the 2 best Polish players. And yeah, there is some issues on the Polish side, especially on the defense side of things. The block is great, but the court defense is bad.
I'm actually not worried about Poland. They did not keep nearly enough balls off the floor. I think Brazil gets a lot of credit for that. They just kind of they bend teams to their game and they keep balls alive, and then they just assassinate you with precision. I'm not that worried about Poland. I mean, those of us who have played volleyball before, you know that if you get into that exact situation that Poland was in, where you get into a crazy deep overtime and you lose it 38-36, especially like having to work so hard from down 24-19 to even get there, and you lose that set, and you look up at the scoreboard and it says 2-0 to your opponent.
Yeah,
everybody in the world knew that Poland was getting clapped in that 3rd set, and that the match was over. That's okay. That happens to everybody in the world, and this is a pool play game, not an Olympic elimination game. especially the draw that Poland got against the United States. I think Poland's going to be fine. I really do.
No,
But
we'll talk about
Magdalena
that in a second.
Stysiak does need to be better,
Way better.
and they do need to keep more balls off the floor to give themselves more chances to score in long rallies. I thought Martina Czernianska did a really good job off the bench today too for them.
Yeah,
Not,
Czernianska.
reception's not good, but at least she could score some points when they needed them.
Yeah, for sure. And another thing to note too is that like Poland did beat Brazil in the bronze medal match of the VNL. So and once again, like Brazil had such a fantastic group stage where they went perfect, undefeated 12-0, and then didn't even medal at the VNL. So to me, this was a revenge game for Brazil, and that's why they, so like to me, I think Poland has way less issues than Türkiye. And especially
totally.
when you look at how they played that second set too, how they came back from that deficit, and I think there was something like 11 set points for one side and 9 for the other. So it was back and forth the entire time, dude. That was one of the best overtime sets I've ever seen.
It was great.
It was
entertainment. So much fun.
So much fun. So good. And the way that Gabi ended it too. Oh, what a ballsy swing. What a ballsy swing.
Sick, dude.
I absolutely loved it. So, yeah, I don't think that Poland has that much, even though they got 3-donged, right?
Yeah.
3-donged. Yeah. It's right in front of me. What? I'm stupid. Even though they got 3-donged, I think this Polish team has a lot to look forward to.
I agree. Well, we all have a lot to look forward to, Everett. It's time. It's time to break down this bracket. This is going to be ridiculous. The schedule, by the way, is out for Tuesday, so we know the order of games. 9 a.m. local on Tuesday, China versus Türkiye. 1 p.m. local Tuesday, Brazil versus the Dominican Republic. 5 p.m. local, USA versus Poland. 9 p.m. local, Italy versus Serbia 2 days from now. Incredible. This bracket is so good. The fact that there's no pool play rematches is like an actual like mathematical miracle that happened on both the men's and the women's sides. Everett, I think we should start at the top of the bracket here. And as we start at the top of the bracket, I think it's pretty important to point out that the top of the bracket is really a bit weaker than the bottom of the bracket, as you see it here on the screen.
Yeah, when I'm looking at some of the best teams, like you have 2 of the best teams who are playing right now in the Serbia, in China and Italy, and then you have 2 teams who have been expected to medal and maybe gold medal in Serbia and Türkiye. So yeah, when you look at like, I'm sorry, Dominican Republic, thank you very much for participating.
Thanks for participating.
That's going to be a great match with Brazil. I think you guys match up really nicely, and it's going to be entertaining. And then Poland, USA. USA is just not playing to the same level as these other teams right now.
They're not.
So, the bottom half, the bottom half of the bracket is going to be an absolute ridiculous gauntlet. But let's start at the top.
The top is, I think, pretty easy to preview. Brazil, Dominican Republic. I would be shocked if Brazil dropped a set, unless Dominican gets super hot and starts streaking together physical points the way that they can. Brazil, to me, right now looks so locked in. They are 9-0 in sets in this tournament, and they played Japan and Poland and took care of both of them cleanly. And Poland is better than the Dominican Republic. I think Japan, Dominican Republic is a toss-up and very different teams, but I have a lot of faith in the way that Brazil is playing right now. I know it's the Olympic playoffs. Everything gets a little bit different when all the pressure in the world is on and you lose one match and you are done. Brazil is just so much of a better team than the Dominican Republic that I really, really like their chances. And another thing to point out here, like sides of the bracket, one of the teams, Brazil, Dominican Republic, Poland, or the United States, one of those teams is playing for gold. Like one of those teams is going to be in the gold medal match against an opponent on the other side who is going to have to go through objectively a harder road to get there.
Rob, you're right on this. The Dominican Republic have one legitimate win against Brazil in the past decade. And that was at the 2019 VNL. Other than that, Brazil has utterly dominated. Yeah. Although Dominican might feel really good about themselves because they beat Brazil in the finals of the Pan Am Games recently, where they sent essentially their entire team. Dominican did, sorry. last year in the fall. They sent like remember Brenda Castillo was like late to her club team because she had played the Pan Am games, like the entire Dominican team.
Yeah,
like,
against a bunch of B teams. That was so weird.
Yeah, and they're like flexing about beating a bunch of B teams. So yeah, historically, I think you're right on this. It would be tough. I do think that Dominican has the ability to steal a set.
Sure, I can see it too. They can get hot.
And not only that they can get hot, but I think they have a really good ability to just stick with the team, and then make a couple athletic plays after 20, right? And sometimes that's all it needs. So I am ultimately going to call Brazil 3-1 on this. But yeah, I don't see any other team like if Brazil loses this one. That would be.
Yeah, there will be some thorough psychological examinations done if Brazil blows that one against they're an inferior opponent, and Brazil worked hard to get themselves the number 1 overall seed. That I've got Brazil 3-0.
Yeah,
I agree with you. I can absolutely see a world where Dominican steals a set because after point 20, make a couple freak athletic plays and steal one. That can happen. I've got Brazil 3-0. I love the way that they're playing right now.
Playing really, really solid. Some of the most overwhelming style of volleyball we've seen so far, without a doubt. So
Poland, United States. I hate the fact that I'm about to do what I'm about to do. Poland 3-1. Poland 3-1. The way that I kind of see this going in my head, and I'm gonna be watching this game on Tuesday, and I'm going to be so angry as this very thing unfolds on my television screen. First of all, we'll probably get a Peacock ad that takes away about half of the set. Then I won't be able to watch the game, which did happen today. We missed basically the entire second half of the first set of Brazil-Poland because of a Peacock ad that they just forgot to turn off. Like enjoy this view of the Seine River. Embarrassing. Anyway. The way I see this unfolding, we're going to start Catherine Plummer and Avery Skinner. It's not going to go well. We're going to go down 2-0. And then finally, with our backs against the wall, Karch is going to do what we've all been wanting him to do and play Plummer and Cook together.
But it'll be too late.
He's finally going to do that. We're going to steal it. We're going to win the third set, but it will be too late, and Poland will beat us in 4.
See, Rob, I'm a little wary of this call by you because I think you're trying to reverse jinx your team. I think you're trying to reverse jinx your team, but I respect it. Ultimately, I respect it. But yeah,
like if it works out that way, that would be amazing, and I would be some kind of wizard or something. But like honestly, as much as I love American sports and American volleyball and this USA women's team, I can't look at the way that they're playing right now and pick them to win an Olympic elimination game. No. I can't pick that the way that they're playing right now.
Like
as much as I want to.
This American team doesn't fight back to 38-36 against Brazil.
From down 24-19. No, they do not have that.
They don't. And like once again, they're doing that with their star player playing poorly. Right? That was the worst outing we've seen from Magdalena Stysiak so far this tournament and in a long time. USA doesn't do that.
No.
USA does not do that. And I'm with you on this one. I think it's going to be Poland 3-1, and I'm almost willing to say Poland 3-0. I don't know if the US has like what it takes to take down, like, because like you said before, player per player right now, the way they're playing, I would almost pick Poland across the board.
Pretty much every position.
They have a better setter. They have a much better opposite. They're way stronger.
I give credit to the way that Annie Drews is playing this tournament, but Stysiak is better than her.
Yeah, I take that back. I'm not going to say they're way stronger down the middle. I think Abogo and Washington have been one of the few bright spots for the USA in this tournament.
I agree with that.
I take that back. I think that one's chalk. But then on the left side, like Lukashik and Medrick and Trinianska, like they are doing better than whatever is happening on the left side
our outside hitter issues are well documented. We've complained about them a lot in this Olympics. The only thing that the United States has going for them that we have going for us, as I should say, is that we've been there before. We have been in an Olympic elimination scenario before. We have made deep runs. We have won medals. We very recently, as many of you remember, have won an Olympic gold medal 3 years ago. Different team, totally different universe, but we have been there before, and Poland is not. This is Poland's first Olympics since, what is it, 08? It's every one of their athletes' first Olympic Games, and it will be their first times ever playing in an Olympic elimination game, and it will not be that for the United States. So that's the only thing that we have going for us. I think Poland wins this match 3-1.
People in the chat are being like, USA is way more athletic than Poland. They will jump them out of the court. USA have toughness. Have you guys been watching this
tournament? Have you been watching?
Have you been watching these matches? Like, I know it's been difficult and they've been at weird hours, but no.
And Peacock Show adds over half of them.
Yeah, and like, what American player is more athletic? Checo Bogu and Haley Washington in the middle, yeah, but like,
that's it.
Are they that much better than Korneluk, who's one of the best blockers in this tournament? It baffles me that people are out here like, I would, yeah, like 15. Oh, actually, Abogu and Korneluk are tied for blocks.
15 each. Yeah. Which is, it's a lot of stuff blocks. It's 5 blocks a match.
Washington's up there. She's got 9 as well too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. But
it's gonna be tough, man.
This is going to be a really, really tough draw. The only thing that I can see evening it out here, Rob, is experience.
That's what I'm saying.
Is that this is an American team that has been there before, and they know how to win at this level.
That take sounds awfully familiar. It's almost like I said that exact thing 2 minutes ago.
Oh, did you? I wasn't paying attention. I was reading our chat. That's been funny. But yeah, like Poland. That's okay. Then I'm just going to repeat what Rob said here. If like Poland has to weather the moment, right, and that's going to be the big thing, because let me paint this picture here, Rob. There is a much bigger quarterfinal happening tomorrow for the country of Poland.
That is an excellent point.
With a lot of things on the line. God forbid, for our sweet, sweet Poles that we love so much, God forbid a bit of curse happens. What like then all of the spotlight comes onto this women's team.
Now that is a very interesting picture that you've just painted.
Can they support that pressure? Right? Which is a team that hasn't really been used to that. Right? Which is a team that for the past 2 years they've looked fantastic during the preliminary round of the VNL, and then it's hard to say that they sputtered by winning 2 bronzes, but like they haven't gotten their job done and gotten that done. Despite having some terrible circumstances to get through, especially this year. But this is the chance. This is Poland's golden chance to establish themselves and leapfrog the USA in the overall pecking order of women's international volleyball.
Couldn't agree more. This is their opportunity. This is the start of a team firmly planting themselves at the elite level if they do this. And I think that Poland can, and honestly, I think they will.
Yep, this is going to be a spicy one. So, this one goes down at 11 a.m. On Tuesday. Brazil Dominican at 7 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday.
Right. China versus Türkiye is next up, and we have this bottom portion of the bracket here that has all in this bottom portion of the bracket. We have all 3 of the great opposites in the world that we talk about as like instantly making a team a contender, excluding, unfortunately, Isabel Haak, whose country is not good enough to be here. Melissa Vargas, Tiana Bošković, and Paula Egonu are all in this side of the bracket. So is Katarina Antropova, and then there's Li Yingying, who might be playing as well, if not better, than all of them. And these 4 teams, China, Türkiye, Serbia, and Italy, all 4 came into this Olympics with their sights on the top of the podium, and 2 of them are going to lose in the quarterfinals.
Let's start with the one that's first here, Rob.
Yeah.
Because I think that of all the teams for Türkiye to play potentially in the first round, China might be one of the worst ones.
It's a bad one.
Because they are steady. They're technical. They're structured. They can kill you anywhere. They have two of the best blocking middles in the game. And most importantly, they don't play a super emotional style, right? And they don't play like these aren't players that they're really well known. Like when you're looking at like the Brazilians, at least like so many of those Brazilians play in Türkiye or in Italy. Like they play for those top teams. The Chinese women don't really, other than Zhu Ting, who's a questionable player at this rate
with their wrist injury. Yeah, they just chill in the Chinese league, and then we don't see them until the summer rolls around. That's true.
And then they dominate. Türkiye is going to need to find something to like. They need something to fight against. They need like they're an emotional team. That's Turkish culture. That is what it is. If any of you Turks get mad at me in the chat about it, you're proving my point. But like this is a team that needs a little bit of fight, and they have those rivalries with Italy. They have the rivalries with Poland. Like they have the rivalries with Serbia. Like they have that back and forth. I don't know if they have that against China, and I don't know if they have that ability to spark it and get it going either. So I think when you look at this matchup, I am almost willing to say we're going to see a 3-dong here. With everything that we've seen from this Turkish team so far, and everything that we've seen from this Chinese team, I don't know if they're going to be able to like China plays really, really, really well down the middle of the court. And Türkiye is struggling down the middle of the court. Zaraguna should not be your best middle when she's just coming back from injury the way she was. Like they're going to need to be a lot stronger. And they're going to need to be a lot stronger on the left side too, because you have some really, really good blockers. If you match up Li Yingying against Melissa Vargas, she's going to get blocks. She's going to get blocks. They are going to potentially shut her down. And Türkiye has no other options than Melissa Vargas at this point.
Well, there's a lot to that. As the chat is pointing out, Vargas has played in China sparingly. Like this year, she was over there, but was hurt and didn't really play. Like there is a little bit of familiarity there through Vargas for whatever that's worth. I'm not willing to call this a potential 3-dong for China, even though it is a fact that China is playing awesome right now and Türkiye is not. There are two reasons why I'm not willing to call that. The first is that this is the Olympic Games and this is the Olympic elimination round and it's the playoffs and everything just changes. Everything's different. Everybody knows, and all these teams know that their entire 3, usually 4 years, in this case 3 years of volleyball is coming down to 1 week. And really it's one day. It's one day. It's this coming Tuesday, April 6th or August 6th. And that just changes everything. There's a human element to all of this that we talked about on last night's show. Now, I agree with you that because China's style is more impervious to those emotional swings, it's still the Olympic quarterfinals, and still there is no team that is truly immune to what can happen in those moments. The second reason that I think that this is still going to be a really intense and a match that could go either way is because of Melissa Vargas. And she can be so damn good that even if Türkiye isn't good around her like they have been this tournament, she can be so good that they can at least have a chance and be in the game and be in a position to steal it. Like even if the rest of Türkiye is not good, and even if they're spinning things around at a lot of different positions, I have a lot of faith in Melissa Vargas and her individual greatness that I can't see a world where Türkiye doesn't at least take a set.
I believe in Vargas's individual greatness, absolutely, without a doubt. But we just saw it. Like we just saw them get dominated by Italy.
That's right. So again, it's the Boskovic case too. You need a lot more than great individual performances, but a great individual performance can at least keep you in a game and get you in a position where if you're the more prepared team emotionally for the moment, then you can steal it, even if you might not be the better team that day. I've got China in 5. I've got China in 5 is my pick. I think there are going to be a couple sets there when Türkiye is serving the cover off the ball and they go on a couple of those really big emotional runs. And I can absolutely see that happening. There might be like a 25-17 random one in there that Türkiye wins. But I've got China in 5, and it's going to be a game that in that 5th set, I think that something similar to what happened against the United States will happen for China, where Li Yingying goes 8 for 10 and practically single-handedly wins it because she's that good. I've got China in 5. I think it could be an unbelievable match. Turkey can win. I think China's playing too good right now.
I think we're going to see similar. Fuck, I'm willing. I almost want to go 3-dong China.
Dude, do it. Put it on the record.
Okay,
Turkish people are going to hate it.
3-dong China.
Love it.
3-dong for China. Then this is a big shout out to all the people who say I'm an Asian racist out there too. So like all I've done is talk nice about China this entire tournament, right? I think if it's not a 3-dong, I think it's going to be similar to what happened today. That I think Vargas is going to be unbelievable in the first set and the weather that storm. And then it'll just be like 1, 2, 3, let's go and get ready for the semifinals.
Similarly, a pretty similar matchup between Serbia and Italy. Serbia and Turkey have some similarities right now. We talked about Serbia just being incredibly one-dimensional. How good can Tijana Bošković be against maybe the best block defense system team in the world, especially on the blocking end? And can Serbia produce anything else from some other player? Are the clear questions here? I don't think so. I've got Italy 3-1. I think Italy is playing so good that sure, Bošković will have a set where she drops 12 points, kind of like she did today. And Serbia might win that set, and Egonu might hit 1 or 2 balls out of bounds. Italy is a substantially better team, and I think that this is finally Italy's moment. And I think that, I mean, we talked about it, I can't remember which preview, but it's been brought up this Olympics, and it's worth reminding. Italy, the Italian women have never made it past the Olympic quarterfinals, ever, which is crazy to think about for a country with such tremendous volleyball pedigree, but Italy has never made it past this stage. They're going to have to beat Tijana Bošković, who's a great individual player, to do so, but they are playing as good as any team in the tournament together and with a world-class scorer that can go toe-to-toe with Bošković, if not outscore her straight up in Paula Egonu.
When you look at the history between these two, Rob, it has very much been skewed in Italy's favor. You have to go back to VNL 2021 for the last time that Serbia beat Italy at the Olympic game, or I guess that was qualifiers, so never mind. Yeah, like World Championships 2019. That's another time that Serbia beat Italy, but mostly Italy historically, especially recently, has been much better than this Serbian team, and I think that they're just better everywhere else. Sure, Bošković and Egonu could be a bit of a toss-up at times, and we've seen that matchup so many times, especially like internationally at the club level. But when you look at the body of work that Italy is doing around Egonu at the moment, and that like Serbia is doing around Bošković right now, I don't know if I see Serbia winning a set. I really don't. Like this is a team that's primed and ready to go. This is a team that has their eyes on the prize. This is a team that's battle tested. And sure, the Serbian team had to play 2 really good teams, the United States and China, but I just don't see it. I really don't see it. And I'm going to call, like, even though this is the way stronger side of the bracket, I think I'm honestly going to call a 3-dong on this side too.
Wow.
I think Italy's going to win 3-0. They have been perfect. So almost perfect. They've dropped 1 set so far in this tournament. And with the way Serbia is playing right now, I don't see them doing that.
I could see it, but I'll stick with Italy 3-1. I see Bošković being good enough to win at least 1 set. This, by the way, is a rematch from the Tokyo Olympic quarterfinals, where Serbia won 3-0, a donging on their way to bronze. That was a heartbreak for Italy. Obviously, I think it's time for revenge in the Olympic context. I've got Italy 3-1, and then if we get like Italy-China as a semifinal game, that will be unbelievable. If we get Brazil-Poland again as a semifinal game, that could be fireworks as well. Yeah, this is shaping up to be real special. But I think you and I both have picked. Well, actually, the United States is technically a higher seed than Poland. That is the only quote-unquote upset that either of us picked. But we're going with a little bit of chalk here, which concerns me because this is the Olympic Games, and I expect chaos to happen. But like just how the teams, who they are, and how they're playing right now. It's difficult not to be convinced by the 3 teams that won their pools in Brazil, China, and Italy.
And like once again, we've talked about it. Things can happen at the Olympic Games, and I expect it to. But I can't, like in good conscience, go up against any of the teams that I've picked so far because they've looked that good and the other teams haven't looked nearly as good.
I agree.
And we're not talking about pre-Olympic friendlies because they don't matter.
Get out of
Don't
here.
matter
Doesn't matter
at all.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're going to talk about the exhibition games played before the NFL season when we get up to the Super Bowl. Yeah, the Chiefs and the Eagles played each other in an exhibition game. Get out of here. That's garbage. Be better than that. But yeah, Rob, this is going to be an outstanding Tuesday of volleyball.
But first,
yeah, we have
an outstanding Monday of volleyball. So we already did our whole preview of the men's quarterfinals. You can watch that individual clip or watch the episode from yesterday. We will just point out the schedule for tomorrow. Slovenia versus Poland is first. Italy versus Japan is second. France, Germany third, and United States versus Brazil fourth. We will be back on this very show tomorrow. Everett, immediately after my United States men either advance and are guaranteed to play for a medal or it's over. And I will be an emotional wreck regardless because I'm like cautiously optimistic because I like the way that the U.S. men are playing right now, but I am nervous. This is a big moment. This is a big game. This means a lot to me, and I'm going to be in quite a state on tomorrow's show.
Bro, I just look at this schedule right now, and I've got tinglies.
I know.
So excited. I want to go to bed right now. I'm mad that I took my Vyvanse today because I won't be able to sleep for a while. Like you can tell by how quickly I'm talking that I'm still like in the highs of it right now. It's legal. Don't you worry. It's prescription. I don't have them here with me, but I'll show you if you guys question me on this. But like, I want to just raw dog it and watch this all the way through. Like, that's how good these games are going to be. And mostly because I love the ebb and the flow of the emotions, especially when it's not my own team, when like you're watching it on the Discord and stuff like that. So I just may be a bit of a psycho on Monday and Tuesday and just watch these games raw dog and live.
Yeah. This is going to be ridiculous. We will be back tomorrow, of course, with the reactions from all the men's quarterfinals. It will be ridiculous. I am very excited as a volleyball fan. I am both excited and nervous as a United States fan. But man, Everett, it comes down to this. Like we started this show. We started the 9x9 in like October and November of 2021. Ever since we've been doing this show, all of the volleyball that we have talked about for the last 3 years leads up to this week.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more excited about it.
No, me neither. It's going to be exciting. Real quick, Rob, we had some requests in the chat for me to comment.
I wanted to ask you about this. Canada got reverse swept yesterday to end the Olympics, and I wanted to hear your takes.
I mean, the way we ended our Olympic Games was kind of how we played a lot of this season. And it was great. But that was a really frustrating way to end what I thought was a really good season for the Maple Volleys. Just to watch them let it go and dominate in the first two sets. And it's like, bro, how many times have we seen this with this team? And yeah, it was very, very frustrating and hard to watch. I still love this team. I still believe in them fully. Really weirds me out how you guys will go so hard for your teams and then one person will make an error and then you're literally calling for their heads. Like, it is, you guys are wild. But yeah, like it really sucked. Like, and people are being like, oh, it's volleyball. Like, yes, it's volleyball. Like, trust me, game was done in 10 minutes, like 5 minutes later, I'm smiling and like, it's fine. Like, I've watched this team lose a lot over the past 15 years that I've followed them and watched them. So trust me, it's not that big of a deal. But yeah, it was hard to watch. I thought we deserved more, especially with how we played in the first two sets. And we couldn't get it done, but we're one of the youngest teams out there. Really proud of what this team has accomplished. Semevu, as to up right now, is signed until 2028. And everything that I've heard of him talking to people off the record, he's told them he likes a lot of things about Canada and that he wants to stay with us. So
I hope that's true. I hope that happens. That
is a good thing. No, just because I'm French Canadian, I'm not rooting for France. If you guys had it like, no, that's not how it works. It's kind of like, yeah, I don't know if there's another. it's a no, never mind. We're not going to get into that. But no, I think I'm going to root for Slovenia. I think Slovenia is my team for that to root for right now.
God.
Just because why not? They're playing so well. They're at their first Olympic
and they have the
It's
potential to do the funniest thing ever.
and they have the potential to do the funniest thing, the funniest thing ever. And I think they can do it. So yeah, I think today I think I'm going to be or tonight, whatever when this gets. I think I'm going to be a Slovenian fan.
Go USA. We love you all. We will see you tomorrow on a very emotional post-quarterfinal show. We'll see you then.
Bye.